Hey guys, now, I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm a pretty big Spongebob fan, alright? I grew up with the show, and I even rode the roller coaster, but I kind of fell out of the franchise as I got older. So a couple months ago, me and some friends went back and watched the newest movie, and I, had some thoughts on it. But it got me thinking, was this franchise ever good in the first place? So I went back and I watched the first one, and I can confidently say, yes, it was just as good as I remember, if not better. It has a moral that speaks loud and clear to any person out there, while also highlighting the rich and interpersonal struggles of a sponge and his best friend, and making you laugh every second of the way. My main purpose of making this is to make sure that you do not overlook this movie, and you recognize its artistic merits. It was also kickstarted out of rage of how much of a disgrace the third movie is. This movie, bro. Okay, so the first 3 seasons of SpongeBob aired from 1999 to 2004, with the movie coming out in 2004. This show has easily stood the test of time with its genuine wit and character-driven humor.
Good for your soul.
Oh, please. I have no soul.
Spongebob Squarepants was a critical and commercial success in 1999, attributed to the already mentioned writing and animation, allowing for the green light on many seasons over the years. It was created and directed by Steven Hillenburg. But before making SpongeBob, he was a marine biology teacher, which no doubt his love for the ocean influenced the creation of SpongeBob. Sadly, in late 2018, Steven Hillenburg passed away due to ALS. One thing of note to take from Hillenburg's time in the show was his wish for no spin-offs. And not too soon after his passing, the Patrick Star Show was announced, as well as a 3D animated Camp Coral. Now Viacom, alright, the head company in Nickelodeon, is the biggest
that was really bad.
for greenlighting these projects after his passing. They chose these fat, juicy paychecks in return of solidifying the integrity of themselves and the SpongeBob franchise, and it is disgraceful. Not to mention, it only gets worse from there. So apparently it actually really gets worse from there. After drafting this, I was just informed that they're now doing NFTs of their characters in spring of 2022. And if you're uninformed, NFTs cost nothing for these big corporations. Like, I'm talking $50 to mint unlimited collection of literal PNGs that can be sold for as much money as you want. They're detrimental to the environment, and when you put SpongeBob's face on something and say, oh, only one person in the world can own it, you know, some rich idiot is going to pick it up and be the owner of Spongebob Squarepants for however many thousands of dollars they make it. Whew. Alright, now that's done with. Are you ready, kids? Because let's have a look at the Spongebob Squarepants movie. This movie triumphantly opens with a band of, well, pirates for some reason, making you wonder if you walked into the wrong theater. The captain opens the treasure chest, and what does he find?
Tickets to the SpongeBob movie!
Immediately after, this leads into a massive, full-scale, swashbuckling, choreographed performance of the original show's opening. And if you're unfamiliar with the show, this sequence is entirely within character of the franchise, because the original often played around with live action, and it worked pretty tremendously. Afterwards, the curtains are pulled back and the audience is introduced to Bikini Bottom and SpongeBob's opening conflict, a dream sequence of SpongeBob's first day as manager. This introduction masterfully realizes SpongeBob's character, a goofy, albeit childish, but optimistic guy, as he gets ready for work. Later on, we're introduced to Squidward, a much more reserved character of Bikini Bottom. More importantly, we're introduced to Patrick, who's SpongeBob's best friend, albeit a little lazy. SpongeBob and Patrick being kids is realized not so subtly with the Goofy Goober theme song they sing to in the morning. And this leads into one of my biggest complaints I have with the movie, and that being its handling of the message and theme. Trust me, this won't be the first instance of the movie punching the audience in the face with its message. As SpongeBob is on his way to work, we're next introduced to Mr. Krabs.
Hello, I like money.
Who is opening up a new Krusty Krab right next to the old one, because
Money! Curses!
cut to across the street, and the antagonistic foil of Bikini Bottom, Plankton, is seething over Mr. Krabs' success. Plankton is a reoccurring villain in the show, with his goals set on taking the Krabby Patty secret formula, open up a successful restaurant chain, and drive Mr. Eugene Krabs out of business. Later this scene, Plankton calls SpongeBob a stupid kid. Huh? I wonder what these subtle hints, cause SpongeBob being a kid, could lead up to in the rest of the movie. I don't know, man. So everything is looking up for SpongeBob. Another perfect day as he's set to accept his award when, Squidward wins because SpongeBob is a kid. This begins the start of SpongeBob's main conflict, where he must embrace the fact that he's a kid. Even King Neptune discredits him, but I'm getting ahead of myself. The The ceremony ends on a sour note for SpongeBob, but a hopeful one for our villain, where Plankton uncovers Evil Plan Z from his evil filing cabinet. This plan, of course, entails stealing King Neptune's crown and framing Mr. Krabs for the crime, where Plankton will be able to intercept the formula after Krabs is ascertained by King Neptune. Cut back to SpongeBob and Patrick, where they both get absolutely sloshed at the Goofy Goober and drunkenly stumble back to the Krusty Krab to unload his feelings of anger on Mr. Krabs. SpongeBob is, of course, still beat up over not earning the managerial position, and no amount of triple Gooberberry sunrises is going to change that. Plankton's evil plan and SpongeBob's conflict are brought together at the Krusty Krab, where King Neptune reaches Mr. Krabs, freezes him because he thinks he stole the crown, and SpongeBob and Patrick have to set out on an epic quest to get the crown, save the town, and Mr. Krabs. There. I think I've made my point. Now you have a basic understanding of the plot, I can talk about one of the best aspects of the movie, with that being the... I dedicated a whole portion of this video to this one aspect of the film because it's funny. It's funny. Analytically, what makes this movie funny are the character interactions. SpongeBob,
Hi, SpongeBob. The SpongeBob.
SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward, and Mr. Krabs all play off of each other perfectly and stay true to their original characters.
Don't worry, Mr. Krabs. Patrick, Squidward, and I...
Pass.
Patrick and I...
Hi.
are gonna...
SpongeBob and Patrick, in particular, play off of each other extremely well, and the jokes often relate to the theme of the movie, you know, of them being kids, juxtaposed by the new characters and all their tough demeanors.
Hey! Who blew this bubble?
The harsh realities of the world are more blatantly personified in Dennis, a hitman hired to kill SpongeBob and Patrick.
A real mustache looks like.
You know, not to say every character is like this, because this movie features David Hasselhoff, man! Not only that, but he plays a pivotal role in getting SpongeBob and Patrick off of Shell City and back to Bikini Bottom. How does he get him back to Bikini Bottom? Oh, I don't know, by using himself as a boat and then using a titty rocket to launch them back down to the Krusty Krab. Who comes up with this stuff? It's brilliant. And David Hasselhoff isn't just used as a cameo, but is also an action set piece during the climax of the film. And I'm about to blow your mind, because that's not David Hasselhoff, that's a 700-pound wax replica of him they used for filming this scene. But okay, alright. We get the point. The movie has some smart humor, but does it have any substance? While on their quest to get the crown back, SpongeBob and Patrick are captured by the Cyclops guarding Shell City.
Well, it looks like what everybody said about us is true, Patrick.
You mean that we're attractive?
No, that we're just kids.
They make it to the crown, but are being dried up in a sun lamp by the Cyclops. And they don't make it. It's a genuinely sad scene, until...
The tear of the Goofy Goobers!
The tear of the Goofy Goober that saves SpongeBob and Patrick can be interpreted as their childlike spirits, and through some wacky cartoon shenanigans as mentioned before, SpongeBob and Patrick make it back to the Krusty Krab, and they don't become adults. Throughout the film, SpongeBob is constantly being touted as a kid, a burden he solemnly wears throughout the film, and a title that he just can't shake from him either, no matter how hard he tries. So in the end, SpongeBob embraces that he's a kid, displaying a message anyone can go home with, young or old.
It's that you are who you are.
So even if SpongeBob were to get the managerial promotion, it wouldn't change what he is inside.
A kid.
It's simple, poetic, and effective. And then the movie ends with SpongeBob saving Bikini Bottom. Oh, and why does SpongeBob turn into a goofy goober rock star and save the day? I don't know, man, it's a cartoon, don't look too into it. Hey guys, thanks for watching and stuff. Miss LeBlanc, if you're watching this, please give me an A. Please, it took a little while. And two things. First, I went to New York City and I saw this, like, billboard poster on the side of a building, and it made me really upset, so I took a photo of it. Next, I want to brag about this Valentine's Day card Shayla made for me. Hashtag thank you Shayla, you the best. That's about it. SpongeBob Movie 3 next week. Thank you.